All right, ladies and gentlemen, and robot programmers, we're going to do lesson 5B, part 2. We're going to code it. All right, let's go ahead and open up our code here. And we'll start doing it. Okay, so as usual, we have our instance variable declaration area. This is where we set up our constants and our variables. Oh, by the way, so you can open this from Google Classroom, or you can just open 5A and just add the 5A. I recommend opening it from Google Classroom because all the comments will already be there. But you can do it how you want. Basically, we're continuing from 5A. We're adding to it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we got to set up the left motor will be controlled by motor pins B, right? So last time we had one motor. Now we have two. So we basically have a bunch of the stuff that's the same. So we're going to put constant int PWMB. So we have PWMA, and now we have PWMB. Okay, and then we're going to we had AIN1. Now we're going to have I'm very slow here today. Yeah, so we have BIN2 is pin 9, and then we're copy that, and then we're going to say BIN1 is 8. Okay, so basically the same. So all the same things that we had for the first motor, we're going to do for the second motor. I won't describe that too much. Okay, so now this is going to be a little bit different. So we've got some more constants to do. So basically, we've kind of figured out, it's going to be different for every motor, but basically we've figured out that constant drive time equals 20. This is the number of so 20 milliseconds is going to go an inch. So anyway, it's going to be a little bit different, but and the same thing for turn time. So 8 milliseconds should be 1 degree. So when you type in what you want to do, if you want to turn it, it's going to be in degrees. And then over here, the direction the bot will drive. So either forward, backwards, left, or right. And then here is the string distance is going to be how far do we want it to go. And so basically this and these are going to work together. We'll look at that in a second. Anyway, okay, so we've got our instance variables and our constants set up. Okay, so then the next thing is our constructor. We're going to get all the pins set up. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to copy all these that we already had. So right here, press Control V. And this is going to be, instead of an A, it's going to be a capital B. And it's going to be a capital B. And PWM instead of PWMA, it's going to be B. So anyway, we're setting up all the pins to send information out to the motor controller to talk to the other motor. Okay, and then so this is different. So if you're still using part A and you're just modifying it, this is going to be a lot different. We're going to talk to it differently. It's going to look like this instead. So serial print line, enter a direction followed by a distance, and then F is forward beat. So anyway, the instructions are different. So, and then it's an example with the space there. So anyway, okay, so now we've got the constructor done. All right, and we're ready for our loop. So our loop's going to be different also. Well, let's do a couple of things. Okay, so we have, this is the same as before. the first thing it checks to see if the switch is on. So it's not going to do anything unless the switch is on. Okay. So then the next thing it's going to ask is, oh, did they type in anything into the serial monitor? And then if they did, then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the information from the serial monitor. So let's take a look at this. And we're going to do the next one. So what we're going to do in these is, so serial read string until you get to a space, right? So the first thing you type in is going to be the direction, so forward, backward, left, or right, and it's going to get that and store it in bot direction. And then the next thing it's going to get is the distance, right? And notice we're typing everything into the serial. It's getting it as a string. So even though we typed in a 50 or whatever it was, it's reading it as a string, right? Because we're typing in letters and numbers, and everything there is considered a string. So at any rate, it's storing it in a string. So if we look at distance up here, it's a string, okay, which is we're going to have to convert later on. All right, so now printing some of that stuff out to serial, just repeating back what we typed in. All right, now if bot direction is equal to F, we do one thing. If it's B, it's backwards, we do a different thing. If it's right, we turn it right. If it's left, otherwise, if it's anything else other than these, it does nothing. Okay, so we have an if, else if, else if, else if, else. So only one of these things is going to happen, not two and not none. Something's going to happen. In some cases, the something that's going to happen is it's going to send a 0 and 0, where it appears that nothing's happening, but we're actually sending some information. All right, so let's get this thing. Let's do the first thing. If we're going forward, then what we're doing is we're basically saying write motor 200. So 255 is full speed. So it's basically saying, hey, the right motor is full speed, and then the left motor is also full speed, right? And then the trick is, if it's going full speed, well, how long? That's how long. That's how we know how far to go. So it's going to be full speed, but it's full speed for how long? Well, not quite full speed, but almost. Okay, so what do we do? So we're basically going to pause the drive time, which is we said what the drive time was up here. The drive time is going to be 20. So we're going to multiply 20 because that's about the time it takes to go an inch. Drive time times distance.2inch. Remember, distance was a string, and we're going to convert that string like the number 50, but it was actually the letter 50 to the number 50. Okay, and so basically we're gonna go full speed, and then we're just going to pause any work on the code. So it's just going to keep going, and then after we've paused and let it go its inch or whatever it's going to be, then we're going to turn the motors off. So we're going to say right motor 0, and then we're going to copy and paste that. And then this is going to be, instead of right motor, left motor. Now, the interesting thing is, if we jump down here, when we say right motor, we're talking to this user-defined function. It doesn't know what left motor is yet, so we haven't written that yet. So we're going to have to. So right now we're calling on a method that we haven't done. All right, so if it's backwards, so it's going to be basically the same thing. So it's going to be, so we're going to go like this. Right motor negative 200. So the opposite. Oh wait, that goes here. Where am I going? Sorry. Right motor negative 200. Left motor negative 200. So both full backward. And then this is going to be the same thing. Is this delay? So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to delay it, so it's going to go backwards, and we're going to do it long enough to make it go an inch, and then we're going to do the right motor off, and then we're going to do the left motor off. Okay, so run at full speed for this amount of time and then shut them off. Else if it's right, okay, so now if we're going to the right, well, then we're going to do the right motor negative. And the left motor, now notice this is interesting. They must have played around with it and figured out that one thing worked better than something else. So they did the left, so the right motor is positive, the right motor is going backwards almost full speed, the left motor is going forward full speed, so they must have played around with it. Okay, then we're going to do the same old thing, well, not quite the same old thing. It's a little different, so let's take a look at what's different here. How long are we going to pause? Well, this time, same thing, the distance to integer, but now it's instead of drive time, it's turn time. So we multiply it by a different number, and then we're going to do the same old right motor 0 and the left motor 0. We're going to turn them off like that. Okay, and then this is going to be just the opposite. Okay, so if it's left, we're going to go, our right motor is going to go forward full speed. Our left motor is going to go back almost full speed. And then the delay is going to be exactly the same as up here. And then right motor, and after we pause, after we do it for that amount of time, turn the motor off. Okay, so now we have our loop done. Now, this is going to cause an error because it does not know how to left motor. It knows how to right motor. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this whole thing from here all the way down. Control copy. We're going to go press Control V. Okay, and we're going to change this to left motor. Int motor speed. Okay, and then if the motor speed is 0, digital write AI instead of AIN, it's BIN1. So we're going to change this to a capital B, and this is going to be a B, and then this is going to be a B, and 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 this is going to be a PWMB. Okay. Let me just double check this. 1 is high, 2 is low. Wait, hold on. Let's make sure. Make it easier to see what we're doing. Okay. So for the left motor, it's 1 high, 2. Yeah, I'm just double checking. 1 low, 2 high, and then low. Okay. Good. All right, so let's double check this baby and see where we made some mistakes. Forgot my semicolon. Okay, so now let's upload it and see if it works. Tools, port, upload it. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. All right, let's say I want to go left for, there should be lowercase l. Lowercase, that was the uppercase won't work, 50. And by the way, The left didn't seem to work. Let me try the left. Oh, it worked. Okay. Um, so one thing is if things aren't jiving and like left isn't left and right's not right, the easiest way to do it is to go. Is to go to. Let's go to the hookup. The easiest thing is to like go to these guys and like flip flop these things, right? Or flip flop these things. And so that's going to be where you can adjust which direction the motors go. All right. Okay, that's it. That's enough. Uh, wait, maybe not. Make sure you make sure you turn your stuff in.